Also a Rotarian. So, it's time to put the mayor on the spot. It's our turn to talk about the mayor. To start off, who better to talk about him than the First Lady herself, Linda Denver. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Linda Denver, a Rotarian.
Thank you, Jonathan, and thank you for being our Master of Ceremonies tonight. I want to ask several people to come forward and get ready to come up as we move along. We have Mark Howison, Joe Doherty, Darcy Kenzie, and I'm missing one. Oh, no, Dorothy. Okay, come on, stand right over here. So what you may not know about John Denver, well, he was born to parents in vaudeville. Of course, vaudeville was dead, but nobody told them that. And so they would actually be putting on shows while he was in a little box under the counter of the ticket booth while the show was going on. He was born in San Francisco, brought up in Orange, a graduate of Orange High School, and has a sister, Lisa. Did you know he was a Boy Scout? But not only that, he gained the rank of Eagle Scout and really influenced our Rotary Club to start a Cub Scout pack here under the guidance of Brian Walker. How early do you think he started with his interest in politics? Age 7. He and his boyfriend, his friend,
Menifee is getting more diverse.
He and his friend in the 2nd grade thought it would be cool to send letters to all the elected officials in Sacramento and in the United States government, and he got dozens and dozens back. He still has them hanging, and they're all autographed, and people like Goldwater and all these old people. When he was in Moreno Valley, he lived there and was on the, he ran for the Moreno, this was 1977, ran for the school board in Moreno Valley. And his campaign was, get in service for those teachers so they can even be better than they are. He lost. But he was teaching, and he had teaching in his heart. When he was in college, he thought he'd join the Communist Party. So he went to one of their meetings one time and left early because the ladies didn't shave under their arms, and the men, everybody kind of smelled bad. So he decided not to be a communist. His mother in the second grade held him back. So out of spite, he would only have friends and girlfriends that he would date who were all in the grade that he would normally be in. I'm sure his mother felt that spite. He was a volunteer. His volunteering started early, and he was not only an EMT-1 in the Sunnymead Fire Department, but he was always also captain and trainer. And those were the days where no one was in the station. They had plectrons at home, and he had one in his classroom. And so when the beep, 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 beep went off, then they all knew to show up at the station. But if they were closer to the house that was burning, they just went there first. He delivered a baby out of the back end of a station wagon that was stopped in the Badlands because they couldn't get to the hospital fast enough. And the mom named the baby John. He still would get birthday cards of the child years after that. And he was nearly killed when a firestorm swept over the fire truck as it was in a ravine. He loves to cook, you knew that. But he also does the shopping, ladies. Well, that has its drawbacks. He shops for deals. He likes the store he calls the Vent Can Store. Usually the cans have labels on them, but sometimes they'll bring them home by the crate, and I have to figure out where to put them. Or one time he came home with a dozen quarts of mayonnaise. Well, that's okay, except that they were near to expire, and I had to find room in the refrigerator to get them all there. Or the other time he bought 50 pounds of potatoes. And his usual slogan is, eat it up, eat it up. Ah. We were married in the Officers Club of March Air Force Base. We met when we were teaching at Paris Valley Junior High, and he asked me to marry him, and we planned a June wedding. But in February of that year, the doctors discovered that I had cancer in the salivary gland, and I needed to have surgery in March. So what did he do? He was really sweet. He says, let's get married now. I said, I guess he thought I was going to die and I'd be happier married. I don't know. I said, hell no, I've got a June wedding planned. And I'm here to tell the story. Have you ever seen Santa cry?
Yes. Yeah.
Santa cries. Usually Santas just say, what do you want for Christmas? And we would hear the usual things. And every once in a while someone would say, I want to get our house back. I want my daddy home from the war. Or I want my home to be peaceful for Christmas. Yeah, Santa cries. Next up, we're going to have Mark Allison, who will talk about a little bit about our mayor and Rotary and maybe a little bit more.
This thing moves, huh? Yeah, but the stage moves. I'm getting really tired. Thank you. Good night. Good evening, everybody. Almost good night, huh? Well, Linda asked me to talk about John Denver, Rotary, and racing. Most of you here know John, so I'm going to skip the part about John. Besides what hasn't already been said or is going to be said, I couldn't top anyway. So I've known John for 15 years as a Rotarian. We're both past presidents of the Rotary Club of Paris. And John and I did not always see things eye to eye. Sometimes John had this vision that was way out there, and I was kind of sitting down here saying, John, that's not the way we do it. But we made it through that, and we talked earlier in the program tonight about the four-way test. So I had that on my list here, but I don't need to read it now. Several years ago, John decided to build and drive a race car. Having had some experience driving myself, John asked me to help him and see if we could do something together. So I got hooked, and we built this race team, and we called it MLC, Midlife Crisis. Of course, we were all way past midlife by this time, but we had a great time. But once we started racing, I noticed some changes in John's attitude. When we talk about the four-way test, John started saying, is it the truth if I only bend the rules? Is it fair to all except my competitors? Will it build goodwill and better friendship with the track officials? And will it be beneficial to help me win? So eventually John figured out two important things. First, he found out he was a lousy race car driver. And second, he found out that in any kind of a race, everyone needs to apply the real four-way test. John, congratulations for your year, this year as mayor. Thank you for being a Rotarian. But most of all, thank you for being my friend. All right, thank you.
ladies and gentlemen, the CEO of the Menifee Valley